Nice.
6 days ago, I made a video titled The Completionist Responds to Muta. It's a lengthy video posted by Jirard to his Twitter account, because the Completionist thought it right to, and I'll quote him, refute some of the false allegations against him. In that video, he refuted absolutely nothing. In fact, he tried to overcomplicate by oversaturating you, the casual viewer, with a whole list of sources to try and make it seem like he had put some real time and effort into this. You could have just cited Wikipedia for all the use it was. And as I pointed out in the video, you said sorry. You donated the money. That's good. But it's a shame it took 9 years, or close to 10 in fact, to get you to do it. So when everyone else is pointing at the fact that you've donated so we should move on, everyone else looks at those that say that, predominantly the gaming community, and says to the gaming community, stop putting someone like Jirard on a pedestal and give him the accountability he deserves. Since he had responded to Carl and Muta, it seemed only right to wait until Carl and Muta had responded to him. And they did. Muta had responded via Some Ordinary Podcast. Carl had responded on his channel with a video titled The Completionist's Response is the Worst Thing Ever. It got to number 14 on trending and it got 1 million views in 1 day. Bitch, I can't get that in 1 month. Can I have some of those, please? His video is quite frankly comprehensive, but we do have a part of that I want to go through in a minute. First though, a tweet from Muta. With Carl's new video out on the matter sealing the deal on this completionist situation, I'm proud to see the money donated. Charity fraudsters like Jirard should be put to task when they've been holding on to the money for years. These people are cancer, F him. That said, it's time to audit my follower list of Mutual who took this idiot at his word when he provided no receipts. Hi Repsion. If I don't follow you, it's not because you disagree with me, it's because you're a moron that lacks critical thinking skills. And on a personal note, Jirard, if your legal team is as good as your accounting team, I'm prepared to defend myself in a court of law. I have the money and the time. First reply, I wouldn't call him cancer. That's far too harsh. Shut up. It's apt. Solace and Dread had tweeted out a part of Carl's video, and this is the part I want to now go through next.
And the icing on the cake is that when me and Mutaha spoke with Jirard, he outright admitted the only reason they were looking to donate the money now is because he was faced with the prospect of this going public.
Now what you're about to hear is a confession. As far as I'm concerned, this is the part that absolutely annihilates Jirard. The fact you failed to act sooner, and then you put out a 20-minute video on Twitter explaining why you did and didn't at the same time, until their video came out, is the most damaging thing that could happen. There's no optics that can save you here. No tactic either that could reverse the optics of it. It is shameful that it took that moment situation type deal to get you to actually act Jirard. You should be ashamed of yourself. You made a 20-minute video and people believed you. People believed your statement. I can't believe listen and belief's still a thing. How tragic for the state of humanity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So as of now, the money, as far as your understanding, that $660,000 roughly is still sitting in your that charity account, waiting for a benefactor at the right time.
I'm inserting obligatory little cuts here. Fair use is very important.
I mean, as of this week, we've been having conversations about moving it as early as today or tomorrow, just because the pressure I got from you guys, if I'm being quite honest. That
pressure should have never had to be applied, ever. You and everyone else involved should have donated that money when you had it. In your 20-minute video, you explained the tax situation, you explained fundraising, you explained expenses. You explained everything actually, but the actual reason why it wasn't for 9+ years donated to where it was supposed to go to 9+ years ago.
Not that I was trying to save face, but this is a private fight that I've been dealing with for months with my family, and I even told my family, hey, this is the last Indie Land I'm ever going to do, because this is the 10th year anniversary of my mom's passing, and when I kind of found all this information out, I was very unhappy with what things were going, and
no offense intended to Jirard, but that sounds an awful lot like not only an excuse but a you problem, none of which is relevant to the core problem, which has led to you being called a charity fraudster.
He knew this was deceptive and wrong the entire time.
I'm not trying to ask for forgiveness. I'm not trying to hide this, but what would you guys like me to do? Because I want to do right by everyone involved on my side, and I want to absolve myself of this as best I can, and I know I can't.
To be honest, you are right. You cannot absolve yourself now because you failed to do the one thing that was supposed to be right then. You cannot absolve yourself at all, not by the standards of us, the plebeian, the oikari, or other creators, in fact. No, this is based on you, your conscience, and you not doing what you said you'd do. Your benefactors, your donors, their voices are the ones that should be heard. And the charities you did not support.
And, you know, you guys are some of the biggest creators in the space. When you guys will, whatever you guys will say, this is going to follow me for the rest of my life.
Did you think then, up to this point, there wouldn't be a voice within any community on YouTube that could call you out on this error? Or is it now that you realize the power of commentary? I'm not trying to make it seem like it's the power of Grayskull or a Mighty Morpher thingy jiggy doodah. No, I mean in the sense of a voice with backing. Did you think yourself above that or something?
And I just want to be able to do right by you guys and by my community and by my family at this point.
First of all, placating the hosts by putting them first only makes you look like you're attempting to placate them. You put them above your family. Fam, think it through. This is the desperate tactic of somebody who is not giving much in the way of thought because they've realized they're now afraid. So they're panicking and they're trying to find a way to dig themselves out of a hole they created 9 years ago.
And I just want, you know, like I literally am about to like donate all this money today and prior to that, earlier this week and the week before.
But not 9 years ago. That is an important detail. You make it seem like you were going to act at some point, but like corporate America, you've done sod all.
And I've just been sitting here crippled trying to figure out the best way to handle this.
Well, let's see if we can do that for you now, because the situation you were in was that you had over £600,000 to donate, or dollars, I know, fake currency. You had over $600,000 to donate. You waited over 9 years to do it. You told people on live streams, in fundraisers, the money was being donated, but you didn't donate it. How does one, after all that time, in the knowledge a video exists, blasting you for it, how does one get themselves out of a situation knowing that there is no win? In this instance, the only solution you could have is to donate the money and resign. It's not the best situation, but it's the only one I can think of, so it can be considered the best and the worst. Worse? Worse. Yes. Now screw it, there's a T there now. Worst.
Because I felt like if I donated the money the minute you guys emailed me, it'd be a situation of, well, he's trying to hide it and he's admitting guilt by doing that. And I never felt that way, but I understand completely that you guys could easily argue that, and it would just make me look more like a scumbag.
I don't know if it would make you look even more like a scumbag or more of a scumbag. It really doesn't matter at this point. You're just a scumbag. There's no level for that. You are just a scumbag or you are not. In this, you are certainly a scumbag. And I'll be honest, you're trying to word your way out of this, talk your way out. Try and make it seem like there is something you can weasel. Yes, you're failing. Like literally every other genre that has a guitar in it trying to defeat the metal. They fail. Just like you.
And, you know, I just want to, you know, I want to do right by you guys and what you think.
I want to do right by you guys. Fam, they're not going to sit there and be like, yo, you can pay us, bitch. Are they? They're not going to be like, oh, get me a bag of fruit pastels and we're sorted. We won't drop the video that blasts you for being a failure.
Even if I survive this somehow, even if this is like, people are like, well, whatever, that's how it is. Yeah. It's going to take the passion out of what I do.
So what? You messed around and you got found out for it. That is called a consequence and an additional you problem. You brought this on yourself. Unprofessionalism. Thy name is Jirard. Someone who doesn't keep their word, another term for that, but I don't want to get accused of calling you it. Thy name is Jirard. Some called you a charity fraudster, though, just to be clear.
People aren't going to trust me ever again. I'm not going to trust myself ever again. And I'm just going to walk away from all this. Like, this is like me being like, great, so I'm out. Not just of content creation or being an online personality. I'm just going to gonna stop. I'm just gonna disappear and start over and never talk to anyone ever again.
There are, when you lose somebody, the 5 stages of grief. In this, you went through, I think, 3 of them. Didn't see much anger. Yeah, didn't see that. Or acceptance. It's interesting, really, isn't it? On that note, some responses defending you. Imagine making 4 to 8 critical drama videos with sponsors before letting a guy defend himself. Instead, World of Tanks sponsored an allegations video against someone who ultimately raised nearly $1 million in charity. Enjoy the drama, I guess. Jirard is a good person who doesn't deserve the punishment he received for his mistakes. Very thorough job explaining why the accusations were wrong. Sucks we live in a world where everyone automatically says you're guilty without evidence or a rebuttal. I hope he sues the content creators that sent their mobs after him. Much love, Jirard. And what a surprise, drama YouTubers just looking to make up drama. I wonder how many of you changed your tune when you realised, oh, we're smegheads and we fucked it. Because a few of you did. In fact, all 4 of you did. By the way, drama YouTuber is just a way of trying to pigeonhole and dismiss. It is vitally important every person in every walk of life be held accountable for their mistakes. There isn't going to be much in the way of legal blowback for Jirard. There really isn't, and we all know that. So he has to be held accountable somewhere, so it may as well be by us. All creators should possess 1 iota, a microscopic amount if possible, of critical thought. If you don't have it, then you are sheeple. Gaming YouTuber Pat Contry put out a statement on this on Twitter by saying, when I first learned that the Open Hand Foundation had not donated to any beneficiaries in the 9 years of its existence, despite many public statements to the contrary, like many of you, I was upset. I have known Jirard for over a decade and have run 10 of my own gaming charity events to benefit organisations. This was always a responsibility I took very seriously, as the public entrusts you as a steward to help raise money for good causes, with no set expectation of reward. It is a sacrifice by those who help put on the event for a good cause, but the benefit outweighs the personal time and energy invested, with Pat referencing that Jirard actually participated in events that he ran in the past. After the news surfaced, I stated that I wanted to refrain from saying anything public until Jirard could respond, out of respect for our past history and to hear his side. This is not drama or something I wish to simply record and upload to YouTube without some serious thought. This is a very serious situation, with very serious allegations being made leading to potentially serious legal ramifications. And it involves someone I know. I believe that personally knowing someone means that you should hold that individual to a higher standard, and not simply ignore or attempt to explain away something that could be very detrimental to the larger community. Now that Open Hand Foundation and Jirard have responded in emails, in verbal communication with the YouTubers who investigated the situation, and in a video, I feel more comfortable stating the following. I am not satisfied with the response and explanation from Jirard and the Open Hand Foundation. While it is positive that a monetary donation has finally been made to benefit dementia research, the fact that it only occurred due to pressure from concerned YouTubers is not acceptable. It is unknown how long this negligent behaviour could have gone on without such pressure. Unfortunately, the money donated by trusting fans and sponsors has not only lost significant buying power over the past several years due to inflation, but it has been severely diminished by expenses totaling nearly $125,000, some of which are not detailed well due to nebulous reporting on the Open Hand Foundation's public 990PF filings. This does not even touch upon all the lost critical years of research these donations could have helped fund over the past several years. Pat absolutely lays the smackdown in this statement. If you want to continue reading it, pause the video, and I'll leave it on the screen until we move on. I'm going to move on now. Yeah. Rosanna Pensino on Twitter, the person who tried to blast Mr. Beast for clout, put out a tweet saying, someone linked one of my old videos and asked if I'm still friends with Jirard. The answer is no. Haven't spoken to him in 10 years. There are many reasons I'm not friends with him and his crew anymore. The news about their potential charity fraud is deeply upsetting, but not surprising. In my experience, they will smile to your face and be manipulative and malicious behind your back. They use anyone who is kind enough to support them, and then thanking Carl for it and linking relevant video. I should state, one of the reasons I don't really talk to many creators is that over my years on YouTube I've noticed a vast number of them are snakes. Some aren't. There aren't many of them, but a huge number of those that I used to like are snakes. They really are. Turns out people, humanity especially, are dickheads. Who'd have believed it? Imagine my shock. James, or Gliv Glove on Twitter, had posted a video of Jirard, an old apology video, shockingly relevant.
I'm sorry to you guys, but I'm not going to apologize for the actions that I took. I'm just going to make it sound like I did and expect all of you to then write angry tweets and Reddit posts and Medium blogs about how my apologies out of touch, so that later on I could delete all my tweet threads, this very own video, and so much more out there. I do have the receipts. I'm not going to show them in this video because if I do, it makes me look like a better person for not showing you. I'm trying to protect the people involved in the situation, so I'm not going to show the receipts. But I might. It just depends how this apology video goes. Thank you so much for supporting the shows. Thank you so much for accepting this apology video. And if not, go fuck yourself.
Well, that feels like foreshadowing, doesn't it, really? So the final thing I want to put in this video is a consequence for Jirard. Consequence courtesy of Sea of Stars, where he had featured as an NPC in the game. In fact, he used it as an avatar for a while as well. Thierry on Discord had said a small patch will be going live on Steam and be submitted to consoles soon to replace the Builder NPC in Mirth. We arrived at this decision after carefully monitoring events over the past few weeks, and while it is not our place to pass judgment, we do make it a priority to maintain a positive and optimistic space that reflects the spirit of our intentions, be they creative or otherwise. As always, we appreciate your support and trust you to respect our decision while keeping the tone of the conversation in line with the essence of what makes our games and our community what they are. Thank you. On the screen is an image of Jirard the Constructionist. Have you found any new donations? That seems a bit ironic, doesn't it? This NPC is going to be removed from Sea of Stars going forward. You can't honestly say you don't deserve that. At the very least, you deserve this. With more time to properly digest what Jirard had said in his video, this meme on its own seems about right, to be honest. And while you, Jirard, worry about what your future holds, the truth is, you should have worried about that from the offset and not been so arrogant as to think yourself above consequence. You cannot be above it. The communities, the creators, the donors, the charity itself, in fact, that you failed to help. You let them down. They could have done some real good with that, but you let them down. The buck stopped with you, and you just didn't bother. I'm glad other creators called you out, because you deserved that. And I do hope, given more time, people realize the gravity of committing what can be considered charity fraud, but also failing to help that charity achieve what it wanted to achieve.